I tried to fix the traffic in this city. It's the worst I've ever seen. People have even died of thirst in it from being stuck so long. So today, I have two goals: fix the traffic and make a ton of money while I'm at it. Oh my god, I'm making $1 million an hour! I'm starting by wiping out the main artery, the heart of the gridlock in my city. I have to say, this road with only 4 small lanes had become totally inefficient at handling all these users every day. I plan to replace it with a 7-lane road, much bigger and, more importantly, efficient for my needs. But I barely had time to destroy the 4-lane one before I started getting complaints from my residents. There's not even a road anymore!
Yeah, that's true. I can't even get to work.
I should have voted for a different mayor. That's it. I'm moving out of this city. Apparently, they can't get to work anymore. I destroyed their only access path to the industrial zone. Thousands of people are stuck at home because of me. And even more importantly, factories can't even receive or import any kind of product. I'm rushing to fix all this by installing, as I said, 7-lane roads, which I hope have enough capacity to accommodate all these users. And it looks like they do. Fortunately, I don't have as many traffic jams on this axis as before, even though, well, there are still a few small bottlenecks here and there, but it's not at all comparable to the endless queue there was before. Like, really not comparable at all. So I'm trying to smooth out these small bottlenecks by removing crosswalks and traffic lights. But unfortunately for me, that's not the only road that needs clearing. Almost my entire downtown area is jammed, and that's all day long. I won't even mention the demographic heart of my metropolitan area, which is also completely gridlocked. Yeah, there's going to be some work to do. Heading to the north of my island, this is where the second most traveled road in the whole archipelago is located, a vital spot that serves the industrial sector. It's here, for example, that the majority of trucks importing and exporting goods pass through. I clearly shouldn't skimp on the road quality in this area, except that right in the middle of the work, I realized something rather annoying. Because of all the ongoing construction sites, some residents got fed up and left the city. And we're not talking about simple workers who are easily replaceable, but engineers, doctors, entrepreneurs, and all kinds of jobs that are extremely important for my city's economy. Citizens as qualified as they are need to return, and very quickly, at the risk of seeing my city sink into the red. I launch the repopulation plan. I buy 4 tiles in the middle of the ocean where I'm gonna do some land reclamation. For this case, I'm prioritizing apartment buildings to get a higher population density, and to attract the type of resident I'm looking for, I'm installing a university, commercial zones, a business district, and all the basic amenities. I've barely finished building all that when the first residents of this neighborhood finally arrive. I avoided a major financial catastrophe. It's a good thing these new residents are taking the jobs of their predecessors. Otherwise, that would have been the end of the city. There are even some of these new inhabitants who, wait, what are they doing? They're subscribing to my channel? But wait, that's so nice. I suggest you do the same as them. I wanted to thank you for all the supportive comments I've received. I sincerely hope that the effort I put into filming, writing, and editing my videos shows. For example, video like this takes me about 30 hours of work. So if you ever want to support me, best way would be to subscribe, like, and also, why not? Comment. I read all your comments. Anyway, with that, we can get back to the video. I almost forgot, but you need roads to accommodate all these new citizens. So, bam, 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 it's done. Now I can... What? What is that? What do you mean the factories don't have enough raw materials to function properly? I have to fix that. It works out well. I've spotted huge mineral deposits to the west of my island. I buy all the tiles where they're located and take the opportunity, for the first time in my life, to install highway lanes. Much faster and more efficient. They will allow me to fluidize all the traffic in my city, as well as connections to the outside. So I trace a long one-way highway line in one direction, connected to the interchange I just installed, and I install a second one-way highway in the other direction. Let's take care of the drilling zones now. I install 2, connect them to the highways, and they are already starting to export resources to the factories. I'm actually going to check on them. They have all the resources they need to function properly. Production can finally start again. And what better way to celebrate that than by completing the video challenge? Heading to the mainland district, as you can see, it's well and truly jammed. I take advantage of my new highways to connect several of them to the central roads, and I hit level 13. At this level, I unfortunately don't unlock much. Just money, tokens to buy new tiles, and apart from the fact that my city is now categorized as a megacity, other than that, there's nothing else. But that's fine. I have this magnificent view of the neighborhood I previously created to reward myself. It has, despite itself, become the economic heart of my city. With its business district, its higher education schools, as well as obviously all these inhabitants, it has really established itself as the major zone from which I draw my profits. Although, to be honest, I'd like to have a little more profit, because even if the 2 mines I build are useful for supplying the industrial commercial district with raw materials, well, I still need more money. Whether it's to build more roads, infrastructure, or anything else that costs me money, I have to get it from somewhere. And well, it's not just that, but the inhabitants, the adults at least, all necessarily have a car. So I know what I have to do. I zone a huge neighborhood that encompasses my entire city, and in it, I set a $50 tax on all cars parked on the side of the road. And, oh my god, I'm making $20 million a month! The tax I imposed on my inhabitants brings me $10 million a month. That's perfect! I have plenty of money to finally, goal of the video, fix my damn traffic jam problem. I add plenty of roads in the center to unclog everything. I build a new neighborhood on my island to welcome even more citizens. I equip it with everything it needs: medical center, a police station, a fire station, schools. I head back to the mines, where I install a very small residential zone, where once again, I build all the aforementioned amenities. My city, it's growing well, and above all, it's making me very rich. And what do you do when you have tons of cash? Get even more! I buy 2 new tiles just below the mainland district, where I build a 3rd mine. I connect it to the road and I pocket the money. I head towards the residential area right next door. I lay down a huge road grid and I zone it as a residential neighborhood. My city is the most beautiful in the world. I fix the traffic problems, the financial problems, the supply problems. There is literally nothing else to do. That's a lie. I do indeed have a problem in my city. In the downtown commercial district, apparently the nearby residents don't have enough money to spend in these shops, which causes them to close down. Yeah, they aren't profitable, they have to make a profit, they aren't a charity. So I'm not sure what to do to help them. Lower taxes on businesses? Lower taxes on residents so they're more inclined to buy? I really don't know. The problem is really rooted in the heart of my city. It's not just economic, but above all, systemic. To fix it, I would need to succeed in restarting the overall economic consumption of this zone, which won't be easy at all. The employment rate also plays a big role. It exploded not so long ago. That is, I think, a good lead to follow to save my city and this neighborhood that buried itself under its own shady speculation. The challenge is significant, but I'm ready to take it on. If they need customers, well, I'm gonna build housing right next door. And I didn't put them in a bad spot. On the contrary, they have a splendid view of the cruise ships. Classy, huh? Anyway, I build roads, even more roads. A tunnel where I put through roads. I hit level 14, and at the same time, I get the achievement, have 100,000 inhabitants in your city. To celebrate that, what do? I build a huge road, and I discover, much too late, something that could have saved me a lot of time. This option right here, which allows me to replace any road. This saves me a monstrous amount of time. Now there's no more need to break, move infrastructure, lay a road again, and replace the buildings I moved. It now takes me just one little click. To take advantage of this, let's come here into the middle of the water to raise an island where I will build the centerpiece of my plan to save my city's shopping center. Drum roll. Yet another residential neighborhood. There. That doesn't change, does it? I always need new inhabitants. Even though, well, for a change, I'm building roads. No, I lied. I'm not going to build anything else for now, but I'm going to optimize instead. I couldn't help but notice that my poor little inhabitants don't all have access to the internet, and it's time to fix that. So I unlocked the telecommunications tower skill, which allows connecting all users to gigantic internet towers, much more powerful than their previous version. So I place 5, and that's it. I can finally return to my passion, which is building residential neighborhoods. But for real, it's fine. At least I'm not doing this for nothing. Some of the downtown businesses have, apparently, from what I gathered, enough customers to keep running. Even though, well, it's not all the shops. There's still quite a bit of work left. And what does that work consist of? Founding the most gargantuan, impressive, titanic, gigantic residential neighborhood. But apart from its size, it's like all the others, with the difference that I installed a large hospital instead of the classic tiny clinics. I connected to the main road, I make sure the traffic's fluid, I install plenty of parks to make my little inhabitants happy. And I couldn't help but notice that I spend $1.8 million every month on communication. That is to say, postal services and internet antennas. So I decide to break them. 1, then 2, then 3, then 4, then... Anyway, but be careful. I'm only breaking the old antennas that were replaced by the superior generation I installed earlier. It saves me a lot of money every month. I'm clearly not going to turn my nose up at that. So quick. I need a new residential zone. As usual, I'm going to do it on an island. I lay down roads, I zone the neighborhood, I lay down other roads to connect them to my city's road system, and the final touch, I install the infrastructure. There, a new neighborhood. I admit that I'm a bit tired of just making neighborhoods all the time. I think I'm just going to walk around my city and what is this notification above the mine? Doesn't have a road to export its resources. All this time it hasn't been exporting anything. Come on, I'll lay a road. It's not that big a deal. It could have been worse. Fortunately, on the other hand, I have my unemployment rate, which had previously exploded, I remind you, that is going down. I haven't lost everything. And what's more, I'm honestly not in a position to complain. Even after installing plenty of hospitals, police stations, fire stations, parks, and especially roads, I'm making the embarrassing amount of $14 million a month, $20,000 an hour. It's almost too much, but at least I have even more opportunities to expand. I fill this zone again with dirt, build the neighborhood there, the roads, the thing. Anyway, let's get back to the main topics. First, did I fix the road traffic? Yes, clearly. From now on, apart from some extremely rare events, I have no more traffic jam problems. Now, did I make a lot of money with that? Yes, of course. I quoted the amounts to you a minute ago. And now the final question. Did I save the downtown businesses from their own economic ferocity? Yes, I saved them. They are now making titanic profits, much more than they were making when I first created this island. By the way, the video where I created this island should appear on your screen. I'll let you click on it.